Are you looking at your website's analytics and seeing bizarre spikes in traffic from strange places like Germany or unknown locations? Are your ad campaigns getting super high click-through rates, but sales have fallen flat? Or maybe you're seeing fake orders that are coming through and failing because of declining credit card transactions. These are intelligent bot cyber attacks. These intelligent bots are making it impossible to know who your real customers are, and this can render your marketing analytics useless and causing you to waste thousands of dollars on ads because they're being messed up by criminals using AI and intelligent bot attacks. This means that your marketing sometimes can be flying blind because most businesses now use complex analytics and algorithms to target audiences, and these bots mess with that massively. Recently, we've seen a surge of attacks on our clients' websites in very complex and intelligent ways. So today I wanted to dive deep into how you can identify and block these types of malicious traffic for good. With the rise of AI, criminals and cyber attacks are becoming more and more intelligent. So it's an arms race with small business clients and big businesses alike to try to keep up and prevent cyber attacks from being able to cause widespread damage to your business's bottom line. In this episode, I'm going to try to do my best to reveal the exact plugins, apps, and free services that you can set up today to make sure that you're getting accurate data to protect your website from malicious attacks, and make sure that you are seeing correct analytics in your ad spend, in your Google Analytics, in your website, and preventing intelligent bots from messing things up. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Kyle, and I'm the digital strategist at Social Geeks Digital Agency. Now, I've just returned from a trip to Canada, and during this time, I had a number of clients whose websites were maliciously attacked by intelligent bots. One of them was on Shopify and received a spike of traffic, which started messing up their ad results. A second one was on WordPress and received a flood of fake contacts through their contact form that were even able to surpass their reCAPTCHA "Are you a bot?" tick box. And the third attack that happened in this span of me being away was a WordPress website, WooCommerce website, getting a flood, hundreds of fake orders for a digital product trying to use stolen credit cards, which were all failing thanks to PayPal's verification system. So the purpose of this video is if you run a small business, an e-commerce website, or any online platform, you need to listen up. Websites are not just getting attacked by random spammers anymore. They're getting targeted by sophisticated, automated AI armies, which can flood websites with fake traffic, burying your contact forms under a mountain of bogus submissions, and worst of all, hitting e-commerce stores with a barrage of fake orders using stolen credit cards. It's not just a nuisance, it's a direct assault that can cost your business serious money, time, and trust. And if you're thinking that this is just bad luck for a few of our clients, think again. This is a widespread, growing epidemic, and small businesses are squarely in the crosshairs. You've probably seen in the news dozens of major insurance companies, finance companies, airlines getting hacked recently, targeted cyber attacks from criminals who are doing ransomware, or they're stealing customer information and selling it on the dark web. It's really bad out there because AI is making it easier than ever to create really complex automated cyber attacks on businesses. While it's tough to isolate exact year-on-year growth for cyber attacks, the global trends do paint a pretty terrifying picture. Automated threats or bad bots now account for nearly a third of all internet traffic. Think about that for a second. That's 1 in 3 interactions isn't human. It's a malicious bot. For us small businesses, this isn't just a statistical anomaly. It's a direct increase in risk. You might not have the robust security teams of a Fortune 500 company have, making us an attractive and easier target for automated cyber attack. And when we look at the cost of this, it's pretty crippling. In places like Australia, where I'm based, the average cost of a cyber attack for a small business has shot up to $49,000 in the last financial year, and that's up 8% from the year before. And it's getting worse. Research shows that a staggering 60% of small businesses are forced to close their doors within 6 months of a significant cyber attack. This isn't just about losing a few bucks. For many, it's about losing your entire livelihood. Now, these costs aren't just the direct theft. They include the enormous expense of recovering your systems, repairing data, the untold damage to your reputation, and the sheer revenue loss from operational downtime. We're talking millions when you factor everything in. Now, you're probably as shocked as I am when I discovered how prevalent these attacks are. But what are they trying to do? What are intelligent bots actually looking to do? They're not just random nuisances. They're deployed with specific, very malicious objectives. They're looking for common vulnerabilities on platforms like WordPress, WooCommerce, and Shopify. The first and most common one is credential stuffing and account takeover, or an ATO attack. It sounds like an Australian tax office, but that's a different kettle of fish. ATO attacks are huge. Bots can use various lists of stolen usernames and passwords from other data breaches. Yes, your data might be out there if you've been hacked from other platforms. And they're going to systematically try to log into your admin dashboard to take over your website. If they succeed, it's an account takeover. They steal all the personal info, access any saved payment details, and can make fraudulent purchases. This is why two-factor authentication is critical for logging into your website if you're an admin. These types of attacks are super common, and any way that people can log into your website, you need to make sure that you have protection in place to protect you and your customers' data. The next common fraud attack or cyber attack that we see is payment fraud. For e-commerce stores, this is a nightmare. Intelligent bots can create fake orders using stolen credit cards to see if they're able to use the credit card on your site. Once the card is validated as active, it's either used for bigger purchases elsewhere that they actually want or sold on the dark web. If it works, then great, they'll use it elsewhere at a bigger cost. Now, obviously, PayPal and other payment providers will generally refund these charges at your cost, which means that you have to pay the processing fees and the chargebacks, and it can lead to a lot of headaches and costs for you. The third reason that we'll see intelligent bot attacks on your website is for content and price scraping. There are a ton of scraping tools on the internet that will go through all of your website to try to find contact information or to do market research for other competitors and put that into online databases to show the pricing and content and look at what you are selling. This could be your competitors or most likely malicious actors using bots to steal your unique product descriptions, images, pricing, and even blog content to scrape this data and then undercut your prices. Often they can plagiarize your content as well for their own SEO or simply analyze your business strategy to use it against you. There are now tons of marketplaces online, and this is on the dark web and not even the dark web nowadays, where you can buy data through these types of tools, and you can even buy cyber attacks against competitors. If you've ever heard of the saying white hats and black hats, it's a throwback to the cowboy days where there's the good guys and the bad guys. There's white hat hackers who are people who are looking at trying to find these vulnerabilities, report them to the software provider in return for a reward so that the black hat hackers or the bad guys can't use them against the business. So a lot of these scraping tools are kind of in that gray area where they're neither good nor bad. They're just collecting public information and selling it to interested parties. Another very common cyber attack is ad fraud. And if you're running advertising campaigns like most of our clients are, this is where you need to be mindful. Intelligent bots can be programmed to repeatedly click on your ads and drain your marketing budget with zero chance of a real sale. This is pure theft of your ad spend and it completely skews your campaign analytics. We've seen this happen several times recently, and there's no real way to prevent this when you have intelligent bots. Previously, reCAPTCHA, which is that tick box that you have that says, I am not a robot. These types of tools used to be very common ways to prevent bots, but like I said before, there's an arms race going on, and malicious actors are getting better and better creating tools using AI that can bypass a lot of our security measures. Google and Facebook both do not refund you for ad spend that has been targeted by intelligent bot cyber attacks, but they continually are upgrading their algorithms and tools to be able to spot these attacks and prevent them from happening in the first place. But again, it's an arms race, and sometimes they get through and they can get through and do some noticeable damage. Now, another cyber attack that we've been seeing a lot on small businesses is the spam and lead generation form abuse. This is where you'll suddenly get a flood of contact submissions and form submissions from fake bots. They could be in Russian, they could be in English. We had one recently where it was 300 submissions over the course of a day, and it was all the same name, and it was saying the same thing in different languages. Bots can fill out contact forms, newsletter signups, comment sections in your blogs. What they're trying to do here is multi-form. It could just be a spam attack, Or it could be that they're trying to get your website to display malicious links, or they're trying to penetrate your database by putting in SQL injections or different codes, if it will allow it, that might be able to send a request to your database and get access to your server. These attacks can be really frustrating because you have to manually check if you're getting spam leads in your database, in your email marketing. A lot of websites nowadays do SMS marketing at quite a high cost. It could cost like 10 to 20 cents per message. And if you're getting suddenly 300 spam messages or fake bots and your system's sending them out an email and a text, it can be really expensive. We're talking hundreds, thousands of dollars if the number gets high enough. So these types of bot attacks can overwhelm your email marketing, SMS marketing, your CRM with fake leads. And then when you're sending out emails, if these emails bounce, then that can affect the quality of your email campaigns and even flag you as spam with some email providers. So they can be hugely frustrating, and they can also waste the time of your sales and marketing teams and your resources. Another attack that you might have heard of already is a DDoS attack or denial of service attack. We also see inventory hoarding, which happens for e-commerce websites, where intelligent bots will go to your website in such high numbers that it causes your website to overload and crash. You might not be aware, but your website is stored on a computer called a server, and it has limited resources, just like your computer would as well. You have a certain number of RAM, you have a certain size of space, storage on your server. So when you get flooded with traffic, each request takes up a little bit of memory and uses RAM on your server. If that reaches 100% or exceeds your allocated resources, your server can crash. And this is where you see a 500 error or 501 error, taking your website offline for a period of time. DDoS attacks can be very short form, but they can be catastrophic, especially if you're running a sale or you're needing your website to be up. Like most of ours, a DDoS attack can be really frustrating. So these attacks, bots can bombard your server with so much traffic it slows down or crashes completely. And this makes your site inaccessible to legitimate customers. In e-commerce, they can also hoard inventory, which is when they add all available stock of your popular items to carts without completing the purchase. This sometimes can create artificial scarcity and block real customers from being able to purchase those products. And I think the scariest part about these attacks is that they're increasingly powered by AI. They can mimic human behavior so well that basic security measures don't stand a chance. As I said before, reCAPTCHA, which is the forms that say tick here to prove you're not a robot, were one of the most essential ways to block bots. But now it's not as effective. So what can you do? This isn't a losing battle. It's an arms race. So there are new tools that are coming out to help. You need to be proactive. I'm going to walk you through your essential defense strategy with immediate actions. So the first one is implementing robust CAPTCHAs on your forms. Don't rely on like the old, easy to solve ones. There's new versions that are being released all the time. So one of the solutions is reCAPTCHA version 3, which is provided by Google, or Cloudflare, which has HCAPTCHAs as well. And you can essentially add these on to any forms across your website. This is login pages, contact forms, registration forms, anything that people can use to send you data or log into an account. You need to make sure that you're filtering out bots with this tool. This one step will filter out a huge chunk of automated attacks on your website. But again, it's not perfect. Now, the other thing is very manual, but you need to monitor your analytics like a hawk. If you see like sudden spikes in traffic from Germany, ridiculously high bounce rates, or extremely short session durations, like they're coming to your website for 3 seconds and leaving, you can tell that something looks off. Investigate this immediately. There are tools that you can use that can block IP addresses or whole countries from your website just to make sure if you don't sell to Germany, just block Germany. There's no point in allowing traffic from high-risk countries like Russia, Germany, and so on if you've never sold to them in your life. If you see a sudden drop in sales, if you start seeing a sudden surge in new orders coming through and they're failing, then these are the things that you need to look out for and act very quickly. The next thing that I'd strongly recommend is making sure that you're strengthening your password policies. We ensure that all of our team use two-factor authentication on every account that we use. This is for Google Ads, Facebook ads, our CRMs, our websites, servers, everything. Because this is one of the best ways to make sure that if your password gets hacked through some bot attack, some cyber attack, and they are now trying to log into your website, they still need to go through and do the two-factor authentication, which should be on your phone, right? That is one of the best things that you can do for your business to protect you online. This might sound basic, but it's often overlooked. Having strong passwords and enforcing these for all admin accounts, especially employee logins and even customer accounts where possible, this is going to ensure that brute force attacks are not going to get into your website. Brute force attacks are when they try to send in hundreds and hundreds of login attempts using a database of different passwords. And these are often passwords that they've hacked from other sources. So you really want to make sure you've got that protection on your website. Now, if you're using WordPress or anything that requires manual support, make sure that you're updating everything all the time. Developers release updates for a reason. They're constantly patching security risks and holes that bots are specifically designed to exploit. An outdated plugin is like leaving your door wide open for a thief to come through. Keep your WordPress core, your themes, your plugins, and Shopify apps constantly updated. If you can, use auto updates where you can, because this means you don't need to remember to update this once a week. This is the most common way that I've seen clients' websites or ex-clients' websites getting hacked, is that they haven't updated their software in months, if not years. And the longer you don't update it, the more security risks are found that leave you open for hackers to then go, oh, great, they're using this version, which has known exploits. I can get through the back door and I can access their database and all their payment details. Now, as I said before, review your analytics. That's super important as well, but review your orders and contact forms too. For e-commerce stores, you are your own best detective. Be suspicious. Look for red flags. Unusually large first-time orders or orders with mismatched billing and shipping addresses, orders from different countries than you normally get, multiple orders placed in quick succession with different credit cards but the same shipping address. Any of these things could be red flags that you are being subject to a stolen credit card cyber attack. If an order feels off, pick up the phone and try to verify before you ship. Okay, so I've given you a foundational strategy. Now let's talk about specific tools, the heavy artillery that can help automate your defenses and give you some peace of mind. For WordPress and WooCommerce users, we highly recommend using a plugin called WordFence. There's two big ones that I'd recommend. WordFence is the one that we use. There's also another one called Security Plugin, which both are excellent. They provide a powerful web application firewall, or a WAF, that blocks malicious traffic. You can add in by IP address or countries. You can also scan your server for malware, and you can protect against brute force login attack. The premium versions are worth every single cent. I highly recommend looking at those, especially if you're making 6 figures plus a year. Another great tool for WordPress is iTheme Security Pro. It's a comprehensive option that locks down your sites in dozens of ways. All of these tools help with protecting your site. Now, we use WordFence because I think they're an all-in-one solution that does a great job. They do have 2-factor authentication that you can build into your website for all users or just admin, as well as adding in reCAPTCHA forms on WooCommerce and WordPress login forms. So highly recommend setting that up. And if you are a client of ours, we have already set these things up for you, guaranteed. WordFence is super important. And even with all these tools, guys, you can still get hacked. So this is just going to help you make sure that you are as secure as you can. But if you are worried, I highly recommend doing the premium accounts as well. Other tools that you can use is Akismet Anti-Spam plugin for WordPress. It's a classic for a reason, and it does a great job at filtering spam from comments and contact forms as well. And then there's also other honeypot plugins, which essentially add like a hidden field to your forms that humans can't see, but bots will fill out automatically. And when they do, they reveal themselves as bots and get blocked instantly. So these are good if you don't like the reCAPTCHA forms, which essentially say, tick this to prove you're not a bot, and then have those annoying pick the fire hydrant images and things like that. The last security tool that we use for all of our clients' websites that we highly recommend for WordPress and WooCommerce is using Cloudflare. Cloudflare is one of the leading services on the internet of helping websites with a thing called CDNs, but the free plan has a massive upgrade for your security. By routing your traffic through Cloudflare, you get a world-class CDN that speeds up your website and crucially adds another firewall that can filter out a huge amount of malicious bot traffic before it even reaches your server. Their super bot fight mode on paid plans is incredibly effective as well. So seriously, if you do one thing after watching this video, get your site onto Cloudflare if you're using WordPress. If you're not, and you're a Shopify store owner, or you're using any of the other page building tools like Wix, Squarespace, and so on, those platforms are charging you a premium for a reason. Shopify has a solid, secure foundation, but if you absolutely need to layer on extra protection, here's a few tools that you can add in. First, Shopify has built-in fraud analysis, so they should automatically flag suspicious orders with low, medium, or high-risk indicators, and you should pay attention to these. Learning what the indicators mean and review every medium and high-risk order before you fulfill it is super important. The big thing that I find annoying is that this is on their super high-cost premium edition, which I think is thousands of dollars a year. So you're probably not in that category yet. There are apps that you can add to Shopify, which are much lower cost. One of these is there's some financial insurance policies that you can add. Things like Riskified or Signified, I think, are both apps that you can use as leaders in this space. And they use advanced AI to analyze every single order in real time, and they offer chargeback guarantees. So if they approve an order that turns out to be fraudulent, then they cover the cost, not you. So a pretty good service, and I think it's pretty cheap as well. For a growing store, this can be the difference between profit and disaster. So definitely look at that one. Now, finally, you can install a bot protection app as well. There are some apps on the Shopify App Store designed to block bot traffic. Apps like Block Bots and Stop the Bots can help prevent site scraping, stop inventory hoarding, and reduce fake traffic that messes with your analytics. So I'm almost out of breath talking through all the security things. If you can't tell, the team here at Social Geeks Digital are very passionate about cybersecurity. We're not experts by any means. We're digital marketers. We help with web design, and the space is moving so fast. So the reality is securing your business in 2025 and beyond is not a set and forget task. It is something that you constantly need to be monitoring. The threat landscape is constantly evolving and changing so fast with AI. So that means your defenses need to be changing too. It requires a proactive and multi-layered approach. So the first step is to educate your team, share this video, make sure that people who need to see this have seen it, and anyone who accesses your website, they need to understand the risks and make sure that following best practices for password security. Second, set up two-factor authentication and CAPTCHA on all login forms, especially for admin. And finally, make sure you're doing a regular security audit. I reckon once a quarter, have a look at your analytics and look for spikes in traffic from places like Germany. I don't know why, but Germany is the #1 country for intelligent bot attacks right now, which is pretty bizarre. So you're looking for spikes in weird traffic, short visit times on your website, that would indicate that might be a bot. They generally don't need a lot of time to fill out a contact form, so you'll see suddenly 200, 2,000 visitors coming in from Germany and spending 3 seconds on your website. That would be a pretty good indication that you're being probed by intelligent bots, and they're looking at ways that they can penetrate your website, your login forms, your contact forms for weaknesses in your security. Now, the final and most important thing is making regular backups of your website. Again, if you're a client of ours and we do your hosting, then you already have backups on an hourly basis. And most website hosting providers should offer this for you as well. Make sure that you've got an hourly copy of your website being backed up. If you do get hacked, then you can make sure that you can just simply reinstate an older version of your website, which shouldn't be too old, right? The sooner you realize that you've been attacked, the sooner you can revert back and make sure that no further orders come in from legitimate customers. So backups can be the ultimate safety net. Ensure you have a reliable, automated system that takes regular offsite backups of your entire website and database, just so that if the worst does happen, you can restore your business and get back online quickly. And finally, stay informed on what's going on in your industry. The threats are always changing. Follow cybersecurity news, watch channels like this one, and stay plugged into your platform's community to learn about the latest vulnerabilities and solutions as they come up. If you've got a WooCommerce website, they've got a great blog and they've got a great podcast that will keep you up to date with the latest cyber attacks that are going on. The rise of intelligent bot attacks is a serious challenge, especially for us small business owners who wear so many hats already, but it's not an insurmountable one. By understanding the threats and by taking these proactive steps that I've outlined, you can build a strong defense and protect the business that you've worked so hard to create. So, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with people who you think would benefit from learning more. It really helps the channel. This is a public service announcement that we're trying to get out to small businesses as well. If you want to stay up to date with digital marketing and security tips, hit the subscribe button as well. And I'd love to hear from you as well if you do have any questions. If you've experienced a bot attack like this, reach out to Shopify, WooCommerce, WordFence, any of the tools that are there to help you. They can help guide you through how to restore the damage that may have been done. So with all that said, thanks so much for watching. Stay vigilant, stay secure, and I'll see you in the next episode. All the best with your marketing.